The purpose of the media is to create accessible news outlets that provide people with information that they think would largely appeal to the general public. This can range from the latest celebrity updates to information on upcoming election candidates. The media that people intake can largely influence their perceptions on public figures, including the politicians that are representing them in their local district, state, or nationally. Local news can manipulate the outcome of local elections by publishing election propaganda that favors a certain candidate, and has the power to swing national elections to favor a side based on the differences in positive versus negative media coverage for different candidates. Did you know many national and state election losses have been disputed due to differences in media coverage compared to their winning opponent? So, how does media bias affect government actions? Media bias has a large impact on government actions on the local, federal, and national level. Media regularly provides information to the general public on government actions, but it's difficult to find media that doesn't contain an unbiased political stance without trying to persuade you on your political leaning, whether you're aware of it or not. Depending on the political leaning of the media that people consume, they're more likely to vote for the candidates or policies that they're familiar with. Due to a combination of unregulated print media, political partisanship, and the polarization of modern politics, print media and news websites can often lean to favor a certain political party, political candidate, or interest group. It's critical to be aware of any biases that occur between the media that you consume. Bias meters can provide context to the political leaning of articles and even news outlets as a whole, and can be helpful in identifying false or exaggerated news as well. How does the media and government interact? We've talked about how the media affects the government, but how does the government affect the media? Media and the government interact when the government has policies set in place that set boundaries for media. This can look different based on the location and the format of the media release. For example, print media in the United States is unregulated by the government, whereas North Korea and China regulate, censor, and manipulate print media to promote their government's agenda. In the United States, the Constitution lists freedom of the press in the First Amendment, which guarantees the protection of free speech with media and the press. However, does the government ever send stories to media outlets? Yes. The government in the United States does regulate media to a certain extent. The Federal Communications Commission, also known as the FCC, is in charge of government regulation in broadcasting media and has the ability to revoke a broadcaster's license if broadcasting violations occur. The FCC also interferes with the broadcasting of politics with the equal time rule, which states that broadcasters must provide equal broadcast time for all candidates running for office who request it, to prevent biases in mainstream media that could largely influence public opinion. Even though America is a country that takes pride in free speech, it's illegal to post classified information as a journalist, and journalists have the responsibility to monitor the confidentiality of their media. This is relevant for any intelligence activities of the United States. The Supreme Court has yet to fully address whether this conflicts with the First Amendment, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press, and it wasn't until 1971 when the Supreme Court addressed this in case New York Times Company versus United States by voting 6-3 and prevented the press from publishing classified information. Overall, the media that people consume is one of the largest influences in the outcomes of political elections, along with the popular opinion within the country. Inevitably, the government and the media have large influences on each other.